The First Congo War, also known as Africa's World War, started in 1996, October 24th, and lasted until 1997, May the 16th. The war took about 6 months, 3 weeks, and 1 day. The war was mainly in Zaire, but with a spillover into Uganda and Sudan. Now, during the Rwandan genocide in 1994, where about 800,000 Tutsis were killed, there were also a number of Tutsis that fled to neighboring countries, particularly Burundi, Uganda, and a lot of them also fled into Zaire, or what is now known as the DRC. Now, in Rwanda, there was still a war, right, that was going on, which eventually was won by the RPF, right, the Rwandan Patriot Forces, which is a mainly Tutsi ethnic group militia, right, led by Paul Kagame. Now, when the RPF, the Rwandan Patriotic Forces, eventually took over Rwanda and came into power, right? A number of Hutu extremists and Hutu civilians fled into the eastern parts of Zaire, particularly in a place known as Goma. It is recorded that about 2 million people fled to the eastern parts of Zaire. This is where the Hutu extremists found refuge and protection under the government that was run by Joseph Mobutu. When the RPF took over power in Rwanda, right, they wanted to somehow hold the people who were responsible for the Rwandan genocide in 1994, right? So the Rwandan Patriotic Forces under Paul Kagame couldn't exactly send soldiers directly to Zaire because to the international community, right, and the rest of Africa, it would look like as if Rwanda is invading Zaire, right? So, under the leadership and guidance of Paul Kagame, the Rwandan Patriotic Forces decided to start a militia group within Zaire, right? And named AFDL, right? Which was mostly made up of people from Zaire, but also included the Tutsis that ran away from the Rwandan genocide in 1994. Now, they opted for this direction because it would now look like as if there is an uprising against Joseph Mobutu, who held the government, rather than Rwanda invading Zaire. Now, when the AFDL, right, started their, um, what can I say, political campaign and military campaign, particularly in the eastern parts of Zaire, right, it looked like as if it was an uprising against the Mobutu government for keeping and giving refuge to the Hutu extremists that initiated and executed the Rwandan genocide in 1994, right? Now, in 1996, October 24, right, Uganda and Rwanda, right, invaded the country under the guise of supporting the AFDL, right, in their cause to fight and root out the Hutu extremists that initiated the Rwandan genocide. This war eventually included a number of regional players who were also part of this war. For example, under the support of Rwanda, it was Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi, Angola, and Eritrea fighting alongside the AFDL, right? And alongside Zaire, you found countries like Chad and Sudan. Now, basically, the result of this first Congo War, right, or Africa's World War, as it's known in history or the history books, is the fact that the AFDL had a decisive victory in Congo. There was an overthrow of the Mabutu. This is where Mabutu fled to Morocco and eventually died there. There was also the renaming of Zaire, right, into what we know as the DRC, stands for the Democratic Republic of Congo. And finally, the installation of Kabila, who was the leader of the AFDL. Yes, Kabila was installed as the president of the newly formed Democratic Republic of Congo.